Metafix is a show that teaches you how to think in the metagame. I am not here to give you the answers, nor am I going to tell you how to win. Metafix teaches you how to play in the metagame and how to react around the metagame and what is in the metagame. If you're looking for the answers, try HC Realms, check the forums, they have all kinds of neat toys and tools and teams being brought up, and check the results of a lot of the ROC tournaments or any Worlds tournaments to see how teams played out and what teams were used for. I'm just here to help you think.
So 2 weeks in a row I have to mention this dude. Pit Crew characters. I've talked about them before. They're very strong in the no tactics format, so I want to bring them up because we're getting into the area of fall, and after Rocktober in Atlanta, we're going to be looking to the ROC to be running no tactics format tournaments. So, that said, let's look ahead into the future, and this is being discussed the week of Nick Fury. So, I apologize that some of my information may not include Nick Fury stuff, but I swear the next Redux episode will, if there's anything worth mentioning. But since the last time I've talked about this episode, Blind Owl has kind of stayed in their supporting role. Weasel is still there too. There's a couple characters. The Star Labs technician still doing a fantastic job. I didn't even mention the Star Labs technician. Amber, give me a Star Labs tech. I don't have to bring it out. Star Labs technician. Sorry. So since the last time Flash has come out. Now, during Warlight, I do believe I mentioned Despotelis is a good support piece in the fact that he's 30 points and can possibly add some harassment / damage, or possibly pause some range attacks that could be coming at you. He's a good choice, good distraction, and at the low cost of 30 points with a 20 defense, he's the harassment piece of the century. Harassment is part of a pit crew. You kind of need it in there to keep your opponents thinking about other targets other than your characters while you set up big things. That said, Flash has since come out. A couple characters in the Flash that were notable. I did mention the Star Labs technician, who comes with both telekinesis, second click support, the ability to give precision strike, give toughness in a tight position is a very solid ability. She comes with sidestep to kind of slowly move her forward and keep her somewhat close to the team or in an area where she can be of help. And the fact that her support click, the click where she comes with healing, comes with a 14 defense with defend means it's easy for her to heal, needing only a 5 on any case, right? So you're getting that minimum of 1. The other character that came out in Flash, who's a Supreme Pit Crew support role character, would be Harley Quinn. Now, Harley Quinn is specifically good in situations with a single character that you want to be kind of your focal point, but at the same time, you're willing to throw into the midst of it. For one, she adds perplex and probability control to their attacks, so it's usually good to have a flyer or character who's able to carry as her pudding, as it were. She also comes with, if you're willing to spend the extra 15 points, she comes with Outwit. She comes with her own version of Penetrating Poison, Combat Reflexes, and Super Senses. She's got a traded sidestep. She's a really overall great character who's not going to get bogged down because she ignores characters for the purposes of movement. So, she's hard to tie up. You can't keep her down. She's a wild card to boot, so if you happen to have a mystical character on your team, she's going to punish your opponent. Or if you can find some other ways to use that wild card, she's great. I think I've talked about the wonders of this character a few times. She's really good and a good consideration as far as a pit crew is concerned. Post-Flash, we had Trinity War added to the collection. And most notable would have been Atomica. Atomica is a great piece in the fact that she's 25 points with 19 defense and defend. She's got a 3 range with precision strike and 1 damage. So if you need a poke in there every so often, that's pretty good. She's got plasticity, which can protect against a lot of hypersonicers, which I can't tell you is probably one of the greatest aspects of her. If somebody's coming in, a lot of flashes, almost all flashes, rely on a close combat attack to get in there. And if you have Atomica next to your main attacker, they're stopping. In addition, she's got the CSA team ability, which gives her probability control at the low cost of an action token on a character on your team. If you happen to be using a hefty pit crew and have, I don't know, a Star Labs technician in the back who's not doing anything for a turn, a Blind Owl somewhere who's still in the starting area because that's where she stays, a good choice for those tokens would be those characters with Atomica. So a consideration for probability control on its own. We've also at one point had the Guardians of the Galaxy set come out, and I don't know if I talked about this guy at the time, but let's talk about the Fast Forces Lockjaw. Two things. One, a 25-point character capable of carrying 2 characters is pretty fantastic. A 25-point character capable of taking 6 damage is going to shock some people. I used Lockjaw on my animal team, my animal Red Lantern team. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it takes 7 clicks to take down this 25-point puppy. I can't tell you how many people win. It's still alive after throwing 4 or 5 damage at him. This is a hefty meat shield puppy with plasticity to start, so he's going to tie down your opponents, and he's fantastic in a Red Lantern animal team, as a thought. We move into more recent stuff. Avengers Assemble, as I mentioned, Justin Seyfert. If you have a robot team, is fantastic. He adds out wit to your potential. He also adds support for robots if you're playing a robot-focused team. So there's nothing wrong with a robot healer who's making robots better, if you ask me. But he's very more unilaterally focused. In tactics, because we've just discovered these things are tactics, Jarvis is a fantastic choice to bring in 3 ID cards for free, and he counts as the 3 figures for choice. So if you happen to have a 5-figure team, and if you've managed to find a 5-figure team that's playable, that can use 8 or 7 in this case, ID cards, Jarvis adds to that. I mean, we're talking about an extreme case here, guys. Give me a break, right? Jarvis is your man to bring in 3 of those for free. As well, he also comes with Perplex. If you happen to be next to, I believe, an Avenger, or it could be a Soldier. I believe it just shares a keyword. Don't quote me on this one. He reduces all damage to 1. Now, doesn't protect Psychic Blast, but if they want a Psychic Blast, your 40-point character, let him. Also add on the fact that the Avengers keyword, or Avengers team ability, adds on the mobility of not caring about his move actions, so that you can get him into a position to use his Perplex as a free action. Because when you're limited to 3 actions in a modern age game, having to move a 40-point character as one of your actions is obnoxious. And when you use that's where the Avengers team ability, though often proposed, is really functional in monodirectional characters. Characters like Jarvis, or the 25-point version of Luke Cage's wife, Jewel. Now, if you guys watch the Metal Lab, you've heard me say this, I'm going to say it again. Jewel is the new Black Panther, and I'd have to argue that she is slightly better. A couple reasons. Even though she's Earthbound, she still comes in only 2 clicks. Stop. Relax. Yes, Black Panther had more, but most of them were useless. And that was also back in the day where a character was gauged on the ability to heal them late tile. Believe me, there was a time where we said a character with 17 defense at the end of his dial was bad because you couldn't heal him. Yes, we said these words. But he was invented at a time where willpower didn't exist, because willpower didn't exist in Infinity Challenge, it existed in Hyper Time. So what ends up happening with Jewel here is she has willpower, and even though she's Earthbound to make her not a flyer for her 60-point version, she does come without wit and stealth, the same powers that Black Panther has, and she has the same collection of powers on both clicks as she has. So she's Avengers team ability, which means she moves as an action that doesn't count as one of your actions. You can do it twice in a row. If you have to get that extended move out, you put her in hindering. She's gonna be, stealthy. Add in the fact that because she's Earthbound, she's actually carryable. This overall, in the current game, she's gonna be a very useful piece when we enter the no tactics format, or if you have a little bit of room in an Avengers team or a detective team, she'll fit in. So in a nutshell, the Pit Crew has molded itself into some new one-dimensional characters that are good for what they do. Some harassment, some extended uses. Overall, I'd say those are the key figures to look to when you go to the no tactics format, or if you have a couple points left over to fill in your team. Until next week, guys, and I forgot to say it last week, so I promise you I'll say it this week. Don't forget, practice makes your team better.
The opinions and thoughts brought to you in Metafix are not meant for the casual game at the table. Married with Clix is brought to you by Majestic's Heroclix sales down Costa Mesa, California. Right now, they're in the middle of storefront change. In the meantime, don't forget to check out their eBay store. If you check the link down below, they always have great Heroclix stuff at fantastic prices, and they'll ship just about anywhere.